Lies. They are small at first, whispered in the corners of our hearts, but they grow, they spread, and they change everything. My name is Lily. I'm 24 years old. I live in a small apartment in Chicago, a city that never sleeps, yet I often find myself awake at night, staring at the ceiling, suffocated by the lies I keep. To the world, I look like any other young woman chasing her dreams, working hard at a cafe by day, and sketching fashion designs by night. But deep down, I know the truth. My entire life is built on secrets I never dared to share. My father left when I was 10, abandoning my mother and me without a single explanation. And ever since then, I've carried the lie that I never missed him, that I never cared. When in reality, I still wonder if he thinks of me at all. My friends believe I am strong, confident, and brave, but if they saw the tears I shed alone in my room, they would know I am fragile, terrified of being unloved and unwanted. And then there's Daniel. Oh, Daniel, the boy who walked into my life 2 years ago with the brightest smile and the softest voice. The boy who looked at me as if I was the only person in the world worth knowing. Everyone thinks we are the perfect couple, but what they don't know is that every time he asks about my past, I change the subject. Every time he looks into my eyes, searching for the truth, I tell another lie. Because how could he ever love me if he knew the broken girl behind the mask? I tell him my father was a kind man who died when I was young, instead of confessing that he abandoned us for another family. I tell him my childhood was full of laughter and joy, when in fact it was filled with empty dinners, unpaid bills, and my mother crying in silence so I wouldn't hear. And yet Daniel believes me, he trusts me, and his trust is the heaviest lie I carry. One night, sitting on our rooftop staring at the city lights, he told me he wanted to marry me someday. My heart should have leapt with joy, but instead it sank because I knew the moment he found out the truth, he would run. That night, I lay awake, torn between love and fear, knowing that the lies I built were now the walls keeping him close, but also the same walls that could push him away forever. A week later, fate played its cruel hand. My mother called, her voice trembling, saying my father had tried to reach me after years of silence. Daniel overheard the call, and for the first time, the web of lies began to unravel. His eyes, usually filled with warmth, now carried suspicion as he asks, "Lily, what is she talking about? I thought your father was dead." My lips trembled, my chest tightened, and the lies I kept for so long pressed against me like heavy stones. I wanted to confess, to pour out everything, but fear chained my tongue, and I nodded with yet another lie, whispering that my mother must have been confused. That night, Daniel held me, but I felt the distance growing, the invisible wall rising higher. Days passed, and my lies grew heavier. I stopped laughing the way I used to. I stopped drawing the dreams I once had, because every sketch reminded me of the false picture I had painted of myself. And then it happened. Daniel showed up at my apartment holding a letter in his hand. My father's handwriting. My secret exposed. Daniel's voice shook as he asked me why I lied about something so important, why I never trusted him with the truth. Tears blurred my vision as I fell to my knees, begging him to understand that I wasn't lying to hurt him, but because I was afraid that if he saw the broken pieces of me, he would walk away just like my father did. Daniel's silence cut deeper than any blade. His eyes searching mine for the girl he thought he knew, but finding only shadows. "Lily," he whispered, "I loved you for who I thought you were, but I don't know who you really are anymore." And with that, he walked out, leaving me surrounded by the silence of my own lies. That night, I realized the cruelest truth of all, that lies we keep are not to protect others, but to protect ourselves from rejection, from pain, from the unbearable weight of reality. But the more we keep them, the more they destroy the very love we are trying to hold on to. Daniel never came back, and though weeks have passed, I still hear his footsteps in my dreams, still see his eyes asking me for the truth I never gave. Now, when I stand by my window watching the city lights, I whisper into the night, not to Daniel, but to myself. Lies we keep are chains we put on our own hearts. And maybe someday, when I learn to face the truth, I'll be free. But until then, I carry the scars of the love I lost and the lies that cost me everything.